What if learning English could be as easy as listening to a good story? You don't need grammar charts or vocabulary lists. You just need to let your brain enjoy the ride. These daily stories help you learn real English the natural way. You pick up the language without trying too hard. If that sounds like a good idea, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a story. Let's get into today's adventure. Luke had been counting down the days until his school's trip to France. He wasn't sure what to expect, but he knew he wanted to see everything, especially the famous places. When he found out that one of the stops was going to be the Palace of Versailles, he got excited. He had seen pictures of the Golden Gates, the mirrors, and the giant gardens. It all looked so fancy and magical. The morning they visited the palace, the sun was out, the sky was clear, and everything felt like a dream. The group took a bus from Paris, and Luke sat near the window the whole time, watching the city slowly fade into smaller towns and green spaces. When they arrived at Versailles, their guide explained that they would visit the palace first, and then everyone could explore the gardens. Luke listened carefully, holding on to his little paper map, and looking around at the crowds of people. It was busy but beautiful. The inside of the palace was exactly what he imagined. Shiny floors, huge paintings, and golden everything. He followed the group through each room, sometimes stopping to stare at the ceilings or try to read the signs. After about an hour, the guide let everyone outside and gave them a time and place to meet back before leaving. Luke didn't pay much attention to the details. He was too distracted by the giant green maze in front of him. The gardens were even bigger than he expected. There were fountains, trees, flower paths, and tiny statues everywhere. Luke pulled out his phone to take pictures and then slowly walked along one of the side paths, thinking it would connect back to the main walkway. But after a while, he realized something was off. The trees were taller here. The paths were narrower. And he hadn't seen anyone from his group for a while. He kept walking, hoping to find a familiar spot, but everything looked the same, green, quiet, endless. That's when it hit him. He was lost. Completely and totally lost in the middle of the Versailles Gardens. At first he didn't panic. He figured he could just walk back the way he came. But after taking a few turns, the paths didn't look familiar anymore. He checked his phone to see if the map would help, but there was no signal. The palace was somewhere out there, but the trees were so tall he couldn't even see the roof. He tried to remember what the guide had said about the meeting spot, but it was a blur. Something about a big fountain, maybe near a row of statues. But every corner seemed to have a fountain and a statue. As time passed, Luke started to feel more nervous. What if they left without him? What if he missed the bus back to Paris? His legs were getting tired, and his water bottle was already half empty. He found a stone bench and sat down to take a breath. From where he sat, the view was beautiful. Flowers lined the edges of the path, and birds flew quietly from tree to tree. Even in the middle of a confusing situation, there was something peaceful about it. He stood up again and decided to try something different. Instead of randomly choosing paths, he would follow one direction without turning. He picked the sun as his guide and started walking toward it, hoping it would eventually lead him somewhere important. After several minutes of walking straight, he finally heard voices in the distance. Not just one or two, but a group, laughing, chatting, walking. He hurried toward the sound, and as he turned a corner, he saw them. It wasn't his group, but it was another school group. He felt a small wave of relief. He wasn't completely alone. He stayed a little behind them, walking in the same direction, hoping it would take him closer to the palace. A few turns later, he saw the golden gates in the distance. His heart jumped. He walked faster now, ignoring the soreness in his legs. As he reached the main square in front of the palace, he scanned the area for familiar faces. And then there they were. His group was sitting on the steps, some eating snacks, others checking their phones. The guide was standing nearby, counting heads. Luke quickly joined them, trying to look casual. Nobody said anything, and the guide didn't seem to notice he had been missing. Luke just smiled and sat down, pretending nothing had happened. But inside, he was still a little shaky from the adventure. Later that night, back at the hotel, he wrote about it in his travel notebook. He described the moment he realized he was lost, the quiet paths, the feeling of walking in circles, and the relief of finding people again. He even added a small drawing of the gardens, with arrows showing all the wrong turns he had taken. He ended the story with a sentence: "Always listen to your guide, even when the flowers are more interesting." You just learned English naturally, the way your brain loves it. Without drills. Without effort. Just by enjoying a good story. You picked up expressions, transitions, and sentence patterns that will help you sound more fluent and confident. So if you liked this video, make sure to like it, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we post a new story every single day to help you learn English the fun way. And now it's your turn. Have you ever gotten lost while traveling? Where were you? And how did you find your way back? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your story.